What's up, world?
I just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
They
Insert here.
Yo.
It's a terrible game. Bottom line. It's terrible in every way. Graphically, it's terrible. Gameplay is terrible. It's just terrible.
Angry Nick mad.
That game sucked, and it's gonna suck no matter how many revisions they make, and it just sucked even more because they put a Kinect with it.
Angry Nick mad. Or if there's violence, I'll just laugh and enjoy the fun.
Kaz Hazari.
Kaz Harai.
They just kind of got tired of Angry Nick on the first one and say, I'm going to pass.
Oh, yeah, so I do.
It's me.
Precisely.
No.
I
No.
do all my work.
No.
And
You
unfortunately,
guys are
I
so
don't.
cute.
Oh, thank you. I try.
I mean, let's face it, Mario and to a lesser extent Zelda is what carries Nintendo at this point.
Always be radical.
I love you, little podcast. You're the bestest thing ever. For the promise of the new Super Smash Bros. And the Zelda game, yes.
You will not find a better story presented in any other game genre, in my personal opinion. Like, JRPGs have that. They have that story.
That's what the entire game felt like. Oh my god, I want to bang my head into a wall.
It's a podcast again? Can someone remind me? I thought it was a video game podcast.
You're listening to the Game Source Podcast.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god. I was just going to the pages, Star Wars.
Yes.
I can't go on Facebook. I'm avoiding all social contact right now because I can't even look at the pages.
I don't blame you a bit. I don't blame you a bit. And we'll be talking about that in a little bit. Sorry for the interruption there with Star Wars. We went live on Twitch. This is Game Source, the Game Source podcast number 137. My name is Gerald. Ho ho ho! With my friends behind me, Mr. Shepard, and also as well Drake. It's Game Source podcast 137. We're yourgamesource.com, and we've been taken over. Yes, taken over by Mario Party Wars. They're in the house. There you go. We've been taken over by our great friends at Mario Party Wars. Want to just give a shout out right now. Here they are. Salvador and Lerna. We're just so happy to have you on. We're hoping Yelthin will also be able to join us today. We truly appreciate you taking the time to stop by and let everyone out there in Wonderland out there, let everyone know about the great things that Mario Party Wars has to offer all gamers. So that being said, and my blabbing is going to be done here in a second. Not me saying about Mario Party Wars, but I want you guys, you lovely people out there in Mario Party Wars land, to tell me more about Mario Party Wars. So go ahead, take it away. Who's first?
All right, I'll start. All right, well, I'm one of the co-founders and chief executive officer for Mario Party Wars. Me and my vice president Yalton, we started this, I guess, first off as a way to start off like just a social gathering for Mario Party, because it's such a unique game that it's easy to bring friends over and have a good time with it. But then it became something more as we just did more and more of them. More people started to attend. So we decided, hey, why not turn it into a tournament? And that's basically what it's become. It's you play against other players throughout the year once a month, and we have a unique scoring system for how you get determined where you get placed at. And if you can qualify for the semis and the finals, you can win cash prizes and other cool stuff like that in the summer. So it's just something different. We're not trying to be, like the esports side, like with Evo or anything like that. And then we're also not trying to be completely casual, because that's just more about having fun. We're trying to blend the two together in a way that kind of makes it work in a balanced mode for it.
Well, and I can understand that, because I understand that there's these tournaments, as far as is concerned, what I watch on Twitch are so large, so huge, such massive productions. But still, when I watched some of the action from UNLV that you guys had as far as on Twitch, it was actually just a lot of fun when it really comes down to it, as far as the interaction is concerned, and the intense rivalries that I see. I see all the thing that stuck out to me was the intense look on your competitors' faces as they were playing. Yeah, they're just, just focused, just intent on doing the best they can, which obviously is the nature of competition, as it were.
When you're
But
there in person, you can feel the intensity, the actual energy, because it's just like you see them like building up like a little bottle, and then all of a sudden it explodes like a volcano. I'm like, oh my god! It's just like I don't play in the actual tournaments because I'm an executive officer, but just it's fun just to watch, like in the background.
It really is.
Really good entertainment.
There's a lot of interesting times. You hear a lot of yelling. You hear a lot of jumping going around sometimes when things get really heated.
Vulgar display of power, let's just say that.
well, and somewhat on that note, Yelton, tell me real quickly your favorite moment so far from Mario Party Wars that probably doesn't involve Salvador, as far as maybe.
This is Salvador with the pink hat, and Yelton's not here right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lerna. I'm sorry, Lerna. My apologies. Lerna, tell me about your favorite time as far as it's concerned.
Well, before I became officer, we did previous years. So when I was a player, before it became a tournament, I was always going against the president, Salvador. And for some reason, when we're in the same group, the 4-player group, he will always screw me over. So one time I had 7 stars. I always have a winning streak in the beginning of the game. I'm like, I'm so happy, so joyful. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna win, easy money. But out of nowhere, this jerk is like, I'm gonna go to the store. He saves up. He has like a strategy. He saves up his money, buys some bull crap items, and then out of nowhere takes all my stars, and I'm crying. I so much frustration, and I wouldn't do the curse words right now, but I would kill this guy every day if I had to. Every time. He took my 7 stars and reduced it. I had 0. And at the end of the game, he had 9 stars, and that's the short version.
Well, I appreciate you letting us know that, and I could, it's just see and hear Sal just snickering away over there a little bit. But Sal, tell me about your, how did it grow as far as from here? You told me a little bit about the background of Mario Party Wars, but basically about Mario Party itself, what has endeared you most to Mario Party, and how did it start for you?
Well, my interest for Mario Party was back since I was a kid. I remember my brother and his friends brought it one time, the very first one for the N64, and I kind of instantly fell in love with it. I liked the concept. I really got into it back then, and then I just progressively really enjoyed the franchise since then. I'm not as fond of the newer stuff. The system is it's not the same.
Well, I noticed when you do your tournaments that you prefer, I believe it was the GameCube version is the one I see most predominantly. Am I correct in that?
It's because of
the GameCubes and the N64 ones, yes.
Okay.
Tend to get chosen a lot. But what really struck me into creating this org was when I went to the Screw Attack Gaming Convention in 2013, was it? 2012, 2013, it was one of those years. And they had an event pretty much like what we do, except theirs was just more of like a drinking social type of event. But like they had like 4 teams representing specific characters that each of the Screw Attack members used, and everyone really got into it. Like there were just hundreds of players like trying to represent Yoshi or Peach or someone. And then when I came back, it kind of just struck me as an inspiration where I could do my own social gatherings. And then once I saw how many people really got into it, and we started getting more and more people, like more friends started inviting people. Some of them heard of us from social media or whatever. And then that's when we decided to go into a route of maybe a tournament as well as a gaming creating our own gaming community out of it.
So okay, that's just what I wanted to know as far as your background with it, your preferences, why you choose the older ones. Lerna, you've seen the responses. so far from your community, what has surprised you most about basically the following that your company has had?
Well, we started small, right? And then we decided join UNLV for a while because we were a standalone organization, but then UNLV's like, since a lot of us are students, as soon as we joined UNLV, we hit the spotlight. Like literally, we appeared front page. What was it, Salvador? It was front page, but it was like events for clubs. And as soon as that happens, it's just like we had an influx of double the amount of people.
The Rebel Yell, which is the UNLV news company for the university.
And then when word travels fast, once you hit students, because students are college, high school, social media, it just burst from there. So we went from a good 10 people to 30 at once in the room, and that's the biggest accomplishment right there for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
For the group. I mean, once it hits 30 people in the room at once, it's just gonna get bigger, snowball as the years go on.
And I've seen people fraud reach from as far as I've seen from am I mistaken? I've seen responses from as far away as Canada, as far as people visiting you from the Great White North, as far as we connected with you.
Okay, our VP just joined.
Hello, Yelton. How are you? This is Gerald, better known as Yes Elvis Lives from Game Source. How are you today?
Yelton. Can you hear us?
Yes, I do hear you. We appreciate you joining on our podcast. We're talking about Mario Party Wars. As far as it's concerned, there are some people that are joining us on Twitch that wanted to know more about the Mario Party Wars organization and the tournaments that you guys have. So, Yelton, just let us in a little bit as far as what your thoughts as far as being a part of Mario Party Wars and the tournaments that you guys hold are all about. Maybe Salvador, you could take over because I guess Yelton's having a little bit of audio issues.
I can't hear him either.
Yeah, I can't hear him. He might be having the same issues I have. But so you wanted to know. Really quick. So you wanted to know more about the tournament?
Yeah, just a little bit more about what it is, because we now have actually watchers on Twitch, and they're asking about what are we talking about when we're concerning Mario Party Wars. So for those later joining us, it's a tournament based off the Mario Party series of games, but it's a whole lot more. So probably better you tell them about as far as it's concerned. What Mario Party Wars is.
So our tournament isn't like other normal gaming tournaments. Basically, it's a full long year. So like most, you can qualify up to the semis if you can make it. You play against other players. We randomly assign you the competitors. And it's going to be 4-player matches, as well as the game. And we have almost every single Mario Party within our roster, with a few that are just incapable of being played the way that they're set up. And based on your performance, you gain up points. We call them star points, which are the main things how you determine your rankings. And then we also have coins that you've collected at the end of your match. And one interesting new mechanic that we have provided for the tournament now is we have an item list, kind of like within the game, that you can purchase stuff using your coins to alter like the outcomes in matches. Such as a mushroom can like multiply your coin count by 1.5. rather than 1 at the end of a match. And then we also have ways where you might be able to steal star points, or you might be able to steal coins from someone or mess them up. And most of them are done during the matches. But basically, we added that as an interesting way of making it a lot more interesting to see how well you can actually do with a mechanic outside the tournament. But we have up to 10 rounds. Once the 10 rounds are over, then we move on to June, where the top 9 players will advance to the semifinals and compete against one another in 3 different Mario Party matches. From there, based on how well they do at that point, they can qualify up to the finals in July, where it's usually a 50 turn based game until we hit like our 9th year or something when the mechanic changes for the Mario Party game. Because we're doing it based on the year, so we're in our 3rd year. So this year's the finals is going to be Mario Party 3, and it's going to be a different way this time for our finals. But whoever wins will then you will win $250 if you win first, and then $125 if you win second, and so on and so forth.
Well, and Yelton, are you there? You able to hear? Be able to talk now, or you still there? I see you. Still having those issues. So while we get those corrected, Lerna, I have a question for you because our viewers actually starting already on Twitch are asking. This is very interesting. So how can people find out more about Mario Party Wars?
Well, we have a Facebook page. Just type in Mario Party Wars on Facebook. Usually the top search. That's the main way you can find us. Just go to Facebook, type Mario Party Wars, and we have a page. And we do have, once you're interested, you can join our group, but you have to be in Las Vegas for that.
Okay.
And we also have YouTube videos.
Okay.
Yeah,
Of all the
more
action?
information on that. Yeah, all the action.
And where can they go to see some of that action on YouTube? Do you have a specific Mario Party Wars channel? Is it Mario Party Wars?
Salvador, is it a channel?
Well, we can't put in the whole name on our YouTube channel. I'm guessing because it's whole copyright issues and everything with Nintendo. But it's just called Party Wars. That's the way it's spelled on our YouTube channel.
Is it one word or separate?
So I believe it's separate, from what I remember.
So try one word, M.
Well, let me check again.
Well, what I will do also as well is, as when this gets done recording, I will try to put the link in our YouTube. If you're watching this on our YouTube, when we run if you're watching a recording of this, we're going to put it in the instructions to help you get on your way to see some of the great action from Mario Party Wars.
There is some action on the Mario Party Wars page on Facebook. They're just little snippets.
And I'm putting it on our Twitch channel now, so if anybody is interested out there, they can check it out on YouTube as far as that's concerned. So while Yelton is still trying to get those technical issues underway, we still have a lot of great things to talk about from our friends here at Mario Party Wars. In fact, before we go, we are actually going to also as well let you have a chance to tell us more about Mario Party Wars. But there's a lot of great things that we need to talk about in the video game industry as well.
Yeah.
So he's like, Salvador's already talking a bit. The first thing I want to talk about is, well, Hideo Kojima. He recently finally got released from his jail sentence known as Konami, and is actually, he just announced like the next day that that same day, he's already establishing his own studio, and creating his next game will be a little bit of a smaller size as opposed to previous, Metal Gears and Zone of the Enders, all the stuff he's created before. The size and scope will be a little bit different, but it'll also be a PS4 console exclusive initially. It will become to PC, but will not be coming to Xbox One. So I want to get your thoughts today. Yelton, Yelton's still on mute. I want to get your thoughts today. And Lerna, you go first. Your thoughts on Kojima finally getting himself freed up from Konami. Is it a good thing ultimately for him, and is it also a great thing for gamers?
There is a huge fan base for Kojima by himself, and already for Metal Gear on PlayStation 4 that came out, and having the company solely to PlayStation 4 is good for PlayStation 4 in himself, because already PlayStation by itself is making a lot of money, and they're very nice to standalone companies. So this is a great start for him. I think it's a really good idea.
That's absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Angry Nick on our home site, yourgamesource.com, on a reviews page, did finally, I've been asking for months to share his thoughts on Metal Gear Solid 5, and he finally did, and thinks it's one of the top contenders for Game of the Year. But that being said, Yelthin, you there? Still having issues on that. So Salvador, you let us know your thoughts on actually Hideo Kojima leaving Konami, and what type of game would you like to see from him? Would you like to see another Metal Gear-based type game? Obviously, it can't be Metal Gear per se, but just what would you like to see from Kojima?
Well, I think this is a good start for him. I pretty much hate what Konami has been doing the last few months, specifically with him, because I don't know what they're up to, and I don't know what has gone into their minds, why they're doing this. Is it maybe because they're trying to get out of the video game industry, from what I feel, and they're going strictly to just gaming machines? But for Kojima, I'm glad this whole ordeal is finally over for him. I think this is a good thing for him. He's basically taking the route of what the Rare employees did, and now they have something that they just successfully kickstarted, and I can't wait for that game too. But overall, from what I would like to see from him, I don't know, probably just something new. Something new he's probably never done before. Something like non-stealthy. Or even a whole lot action-based, although I wouldn't mind an action-based game again from him since he does so well with them.
Well, he's also hinted into going into movie production, which leads me to talking a little bit about his possible reuniting with Guillermo del Toro, as far as is concerned. They were supposed to have a project, and Konami hit the squash button on that, unfortunately. So hopefully we can see, my opinion, we could see something hopefully from those two collaborating, because I know that Norman Reedus was going to be a part of it with the Silent Hills, and it was going to really go down a good dark path for those who are interested in real good horror game. Yelthin, you there? You still looks like he's still working on it. Okay, he's still working on it. That's okay. We appreciate you trying, giving it that extra effort there. So Lerna. What's your final thoughts on Kojima as far as what a game you would like to see from him?
Well, for me, I like online multiplayer games and role-playing games. So from Metal Gear 5, there is you switch up your inventory, and then there is a role-playing element to it. And I saw the multiplayer. I think it's still in beta. Metal Gear multiplayer, they have it, but I don't think it's mainstream yet. But from him, I would like him to go back towards fantasy, maybe something with sword, because I saw his logo, the new logo, and it showed a knight with a skeleton inside. So maybe I hope he's gonna go back to swords and shields and magic. I would definitely go buy that in a heartbeat.
Fair enough. Fair enough then. Hopefully can get all the audio issues fixed. I know I've had those in the past myself. So Yelthin, just let us know. Just chime in when you're ready. No, still. I know Salvador was going through the same thing earlier, so I do apologize for that. But on the obviously Mario Party, just another one of those great line of iterations from Nintendo. And speaking of Nintendo, trying to segue in, Nintendo recently got a patent for a new open-face controller that allows you to, basically it's going to be like a touchpad type controller that they're proposing. Could they be proposing it for the Wii U? Could they be proposing it for the NX? Who knows? But let's speculate, for instance, that it is going to be the NX, or whatever the NX eventually will be called. Although the NX is kind of cool, but then again, I thought the Revolution was kind of cool, but they made it the Wii instead. Little did I know that would sell so many. But that being the case, seeing the designs that Nintendo has in mind for this controller, Salvador, what are your thoughts as far as the concern, and what are your hopes as far as how to utilize that within a video game context?
Well, I'm actually really interested in looking forward to seeing what this is and whether or not they go, whether or not it goes through for Nintendo. If it's something they're really wanting to do, because something completely motion-based. I mean, I've never heard of a controller that even does that as of yet for a console of any kind. So it definitely sounds very unique. If they can make it mobile, like where you can just take the games or even any mobile games that they might like apply to it on its own, I think that'd be really cool. My only concern is obviously it's mobile, and the mobile area is not exactly the most, I would say, the best platform when it comes to converting from console to from something console to mobile. It doesn't seem to always work well, just because mobile is still such a new form of entertainment for.
And I know that's something that they've talked about, is trying to become their next system may be becoming a hybrid of both the mobile and obviously console platforms. Do you see that hybrid actually happening so soon as far as technology is concerned? Because I know we're just trying to get in the realm of VR, and VR trying to become something that hits more of a mainstream status. Is this something that you can see happening?
Well, it's Nintendo, so I would definitely say it's anything possible. They are the industry that usually is going in a completely different direction, and they either have a lot of success with it or they don't do so well. But they're always the ones that try to do something different that Sony or Microsoft would generally not try to do, such as with the Wii controller, which both of them got the offer first, but they denied it, and then pretty much Nintendo took advantage. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I think they could do. I don't know if they might apply it to the NX. I don't know if that's too soon, but maybe in a future console down the line.
Fair enough, because they've always been known to innovate, and when they do, they are, you've seen what they've done with the Wii, and they've done such tremendous, sales, and the Wii becoming as powerful an entity in the video game industry as it did. The Wii U, unfortunately, has not seen the heights that it should. But Lerna, when you see the schematics, what does that tell you as far as the future of gaming?
I looked at it, and it seems like the controller, you hold it, but then you can map the buttons anywhere on the controller. Like, since it's going to be a touchscreen controller, you can have your X button in the middle, or maybe on the side.
Do you guys hear me now?
Yes, we do.
Holy cow! I'm very sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
I had to, of all things, my computer would not cooperate with me, and I had to pull up my iPad, of all things.
But continue, Lerna.
I was thinking, like how in the future movies or games they have like a ball or a device, you just wave your hand in it, right, and it does the action for you. So having this touchscreen controller may not be like a holographic thing you can mess with, but it's in your hand, and it's like a ball, kinda. So, like a Rubik's Cube. So you can, like, maybe when you're interacting, since it said mobile, you're interacting with the world. So whoever the placement of the controller, it could be the object in the virtual world on the screen. So let's say you're trying to tamper with a lock, you have your controller, and you just do like, it would be like that. And I think interactivity is what major companies are going for right now, because that's where the market's going. It's going in that direction, because people are tired of just looking at their screen and be like, button, button, button. Now they could be like, oh, cool, I'm
yes.
in. Sorry, that was a lot of information.
No, actually, that's what we want to hear. That's what I, the kind of talk when that word gets out there regarding these type of controllers and these type of possible innovations for the console generation. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to get, is that conversation started. So I know a lot of people have their hopes, like I do, set on the future for Nintendo and the future of the NX. Yelton, did you want to add a little bit on that now that you're live?
I'm
and
finally
with us?
in, yeah. When it comes to like interactivity gaming like that, I just have to think back with, the Power Glove, the Wii Remote, the Kinect, all those other that, try to do this whole non-controller based options, which is great, don't get me wrong, it's gotten a lot of great ideas out there. I just think that we're still a bit away from fully implementing, because let's just put it this way. On a controller, everything feels natural. Press B to do this action, press LR to do this action, the list goes on. But when it comes to these interactivity controllers, you have to force your body to do something that seems, unnatural. And that's the big barrier that many game developers and many, hardware companies have to figure out, is like how to make a gesture that felt so natural as pressing a button can be.
Absolutely, because
it's
been hit and miss when all these with from the Kinect, the Kinect, all these, the Move, all these different so-called innovations and add-ons, have been met with either a great response or a very poor one. Correct?
Yeah, if we think of a good example of a great success, think of the Wii Remote. That was just a remote on all honesty, and we were able, with their tech demo with Wii Sports, they were able to do a lot of great things. Yes, unfortunately, due to the Wii's hardware, they couldn't continuously add in leaderboards or anything like that. But if they could have added such a thing at the time, Wii Sports could have been a big game for interactivity and probably could have done a lot more.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Oh, no worries. For the next Super Smash Brothers game, hopefully it'll provide a lot of entertainment on a touchscreen type of controller. So leading into that, Yelton, I want to hear your thoughts on Super Smash, because Nintendo recently announced that yes, Bayonetta is coming to Super Smash, but the DLC is now near its end as far as it's concerned. So that means the update and support that Nintendo's going to give this current iteration of Super Smash is probably going to be ending in the near future. That being the case, I want to get your thoughts, Yelton, first off, on your opinion on the Super Smash for the Wii U. Was it a success in your opinion? And did it reach the heights that you think it should have gotten?
Me personally, I was happy with what it first came out with. You had a good roster. Obviously you can't ask for every character we all want. That's just impossible. But when they started promoting DLC, I was curious. There was nothing in particular I want to see. My main, for crying out loud, is Link and Rosalina. So I was perfectly happy. But, with all the DLC characters that are starting to come out, I was very surprised with some of them. Probably the biggest one, bar none, and I think many of us would agree, is Cloud. I just thought that one just cannot happen. That character never appeared on a Nintendo console. Square Enix, outside of a few handheld games and Crystal Chronicles, I cannot think of any other Square Enix games exclusively for the Wii U, for the Nintendo consoles. So having a character like Cloud, I think, is one heck of an opportunity. And if I'm willing to go so bold, I think a bit of a slap at Sony. Because,
but also, that you're right, and actually it is such a surprise because of their collaborations with Sony, correct?
Yeah. You would think that Sony would be the one exploiting it. Yes, they have the PS4 remake coming along, but we're probably not going to see that anytime soon. Hopefully anything within the next year, if not 2 years. Square Enix may be known for many things, but they're not exactly the quickest to release games.
No.
Yeah.
So having, for that particular character, Street Fighter, we all remember Street Fighter 2 from the days of old. on fighter games and having them in Smash Brothers with the likes of Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, and all the others, that's just pretty blowing away everybody. Now, the fact that they're ending, to me, it feels like they've done everything they can. And, if they really kept going this on, they probably would not have another Smash Brothers for the new console. Yeah, we keep hearing these things about the NX, and, as every new console, we always get a new iteration. I'm just afraid if they would have continued with giving DLC characters, they would do like a port, and that's not what we want. I mean, we will want something newer, something fresher. We want to see Smash Brothers. Probably me personally, my biggest thing I want in a Smash Brothers is a trailer an opening video like from Melee.
Absolutely.
I know it's a silly
Melee or Brawl.
A silly thing in the grand scheme of things, but when I grew up with Smash, probably the biggest one I played was Melee, and I think for many of us was Melee.
Yeah.
So one thing I remember just blew me away was that opening cinematic. I was willing to play it, plug it in every time, and just sit there for the full minute for the opening video. So that's kind of always been a big thing for me. Like I want to see a lot like that one opening video, and Brawl did okay. I'll give it honest, but the Wii U one, I know they released all the character opening videos, but it's not the same as the opening video every time you put in Smash Brothers.
Indeed. And Sal, do you agree, or did Super Smash meet all your expectations?
No, I'm on board with the same way with Yalton. I felt, especially at the beginning, it pretty much felt the way I wanted Smash to be at that point compared to Brawl, which was okay to me. Melee was really fun, and I'm glad they brought kind of a combination of the two. The DLC kind of caught me off guard at first because Nintendo's not known at all, if ever, to do anything DLC related because they always make sure they put everything in right then and there. But definitely, it's kind of cool that they did come on board with joining Sony and Microsoft, who do that a lot. But definitely the one with Cloud, that caught me off guard a lot because just like with Snake, and even with Snake, I wasn't expecting that in Brawl. It was just something I wasn't expecting at all for anything DLC related from Nintendo. Especially knowing Enix, they don't even like to have their characters put on anything other than what they have on their own. So definitely a big shocker. Bayonetta was a little bit of a shocker to me, but that one was a little bit more expected. But I'm definitely happy overall that they're ending it. I don't feel needs to keep going on DLC wise, because then that's just going too much. I'd prefer seeing another Smash with something new to it being added on, rather than just keep seeing the same game just with additional content being added.
Yeldon, did you want to add before I get to Lerna, and then did you want to?
Well, I did want to mention two things when you mentioned with Bayonetta. I saw it coming a little bit, and that's just because, again, how Bayonetta 2 came exclusively for the Wii U. So I figured Platinum Games would have been working with something with Nintendo about adding their character into Smash Brothers. That was just my tidbit. The second tidbit is overall with Smash Brothers, when they made this game, they target just about every type of audience they can muster. They brought the Wii U game adapter, a GameCube adapter for all the Melee and the Brawl players.
Mm-hmm.
That was not unnecessary. They could have just said, you know what, guys? You guys got to suck it up with the new controller options. Done. And no, but they decided to, tread carefully and, get a special peripheral for it. And heck, you can even use two for crying out loud. Again, for all the other popular fighters, you have to invest $200 at minimum to get a proper fight stick.
Yeah.
And that's not, again, it's something they didn't have to do, but yet they did it. So it's just one of those things. Again, with Nintendo DLC, this is their first generation where they've properly been able to handle DLC.
Absolutely.
So, and throw another example in there, Mario Kart 8. That game was complete at the start when it launched out in May? Was it May? I don't remember. Anyway, yet they decided to release a full half of a game, completely workable, completely integrated into their online services, all for not even half of what you paid for the game itself. So again, it's not, Nintendo, even though this is the first step into DLC, they seem to have a good idea of what they want to do, what they want to offer, which is complete additional content without feeling anything left out. Because that's my biggest gripe with a lot of DLC. It's just that you're paying extra for what maybe should have been already included in the game.
Lerna, any final thoughts on Super Smash as we close out this epilogue of Super Smash?
I kind of got misplaced. Someone entered the house, family member. But from what I've seen, I like all the additional characters because from Super Smash, Melee, before Smash 4, people got tired of playing the same characters from over and over, so they made their own little projects, like Project M, Project X, where it was just they always use the same model, but they new characters like Cloud. There was a custom-made Cloud for Melee using a mod. So having the ability to always have a new character, it's always refreshing the game, making the game brand new. There's a lot of tournaments, so it changes the game entirely and changes the standings for those tournaments too, because there will always be the same character at the top because it's the best character, and now there's a new competition.
Fair enough indeed. And that being the case, one last thing before I want to go as far as it's concerned. I want to hear more about Mario Party Wars, and we got a lot of people out there that are talking to us, and just really appreciate both Eric DeRode and DMX Naughty T and Mike Hess, who are actually watching the podcast as we speak, and then everybody else who's watching us, right now on Google Hangouts, and who will be watching us on YouTube. On our Twitch when it becomes a highlight, and also as well as if you want to listen to it, the podcast in all of its amazing audio glory, just want to check us out at yourgamesource.com. On our podcast page, it will be right there as GameSource Podcast 137, because Mario Party Wars has taken over today, and they are here, and they're just in force, and we appreciate Lerna and Yelton, and yes, you too, Sal, for joining us here on the podcast. But we want to know more about Mario Party Wars. So, Yelton, I didn't get your thoughts on your memories, your experiences with Mario Party Wars, and just basically a pitch to everyone out there why they should become a part of the Mario Party Wars action.
All right. Well, as regards to memories, I started with the GameCube series. I used to rent them back. I used to rent them on Blockbuster. Yeah, I remember that. But that's mainly how I got them exposed. I played them mainly by myself. But the way me and Sal got into Mario Party, it started even beginning to work with Mario Party Wars, was through ScrewAttack's Mario Party After Dark. He went to see it live. I've been streaming it since whenever they started on their 24-hour marathons and whatnot. And after that, he and I started thinking together. We gave it a test run. It worked, and after that, we've just been rolling with it. Mario Party Wars is something we just did casually once, and everybody seemed to like it, and we did it again, and we decided to make it an official organization, tournament, and whatnot. And honestly, the idea behind Mario Party Wars is just to bring back, like, the times when we all were all kids, got together, and play and have fun. Yes, Mario Party itself has a bit of a competitive streak, but it's more aimed for for those people who just like being together, playing a game together.
Has it got really intense? I know we were talking earlier about the intensity that the competitors have that I've seen when you run it on Twitch from UNLV and whatnot. But what are your sub takeaways as far as the competition is concerned, and some of the competitors themselves and how they get playing Mario Party?
Oh, I think it's absolutely hilarious, to be bluntly honest. It's just, I cannot imagine seeing any of this kind of reactions like anywhere else. Like, you have Evo, you have the other ones that, they do bring their own level of hype and their own level of, I guess, rage. But but this one's more like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like,
just a level of competition. Just it inspires people. People who would maybe normally not be so adamant and so outgoing as far as it's concerned. Once the game gets turned on, so to speak, the game starts going and rolling, and the competition gets fierce. You see another side of people that you didn't really expect.
yeah, a little bit, but at the same time, we have all had those moments where we just burst out another version of us, and we're just going like, okay, then let's go with this. But I think the biggest thing about Mario Party Wars that we all try to show is that anybody is welcome. Even if you've never played a Mario Party game, you can come into Mario Party Wars and have a good time. Because, we don't want to intimidate people just because you've never played a Mario Party game. It doesn't matter. It's a board game in all sense of the word. It's a board game with Mario characters. It's like, two things that most people probably grew up in some way, shape, or form. So we always want to bring out the inner child, I guess, with Mario Party Wars.
Oh my gosh, and I know I have an inner child that always tries to speak to me at length, and even though I try to ignore it at times, as you can see from the hat and Drake and Shepard's hats as well, that inner child speaks to me a lot. But that being the case, M Party Wars on YouTube and Mario Party Wars on Facebook. That's how people can get a hold of you. Is that correct? Is that
pretty
correct?
much? Yeah.
Yeah, we also have a Twitter. Most of it's just combined through our Facebook. It's usually we post on Facebook and then it gets transferred to our Twitter page evenly. But yeah, you can also follow us on Twitter as well.
Fair enough. That's from our friends at Mario Party Wars. So please, if you get a chance, check out all the action on their YouTube page. Check out all the great stuff they got as far as on their Facebook page. You can interact with them. I have interacted with them as far as they're great in their responses. If you have any questions, if you're interested, and not just if you're in the Las Vegas area, but if basically, like I said earlier, you have people following you around, just far away, as far as people and that want to follow all the action going on with Mario Party Wars. And Mario Party Wars, Mario Party is a great game indeed. But as we close, got a couple things I want to talk about. We got our Game of the Year as far as it's concerned that we're currently talking about here at Game Source, going back and forth as far as deliberation is concerned, the voting is concerned. And we will be posting very soon on our Game Source Facebook page the way you can help us out as far as picking a Game of the Year. So look forward to that real soon as we choose the best video games of 2015. But while I have you here, all three of you here, I want to hear your thoughts. I hope you've done some thinking about this at length. So I wanted to get the lovely Lerna first, her thoughts on her choice for Game of the Year for 2015.
Well, I like a lot of games. So far, I love Fallout 4. Fallout 4 has changed everything about games because it changes as I play it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I can just go run out into the game world and kill some things and then it'll be alright because on the other side of the map, no one knows. Or, if I kill a main character, the game changes drastically. Like, there's consequences. Like, you might not even know that this person's important. But, like, it could be a random person walking across the land and you kill them, but then, like, 100 quests later, that person you killed changes the end of that quest line. And I didn't even know about it. The game is so diversive, it's beautiful, it's addicting, and it goes on forever because there is no level cap. And it just started, the Fallout 4 just started too, and there's room for DLCs, and you can do anything. You can be a ninja, you can be a tank. not literally a ninja, but there's abilities to make yourself a ninja. Or you can just straight talk everyone. You don't even have to kill anyone. Well, sometimes you do, but you can just talk your way out of anything. Like, you can be any type of character you want in the game and still win in your own way.
Fair enough, fair enough. So Fallout 4 from you, an excellent choice, I must say, indeed. One of Bethesda's finest releases ever. And I'm so looking forward to the additional DLC that comes out. And as always, you gotta love the bugs that they definitely present, indeed. Yelton, now I'm gonna get to you last. I know you're like, well, hold on, but yeah, Yelton, I do want to go ahead with your thoughts on Game of the Year.
I don't know. It's like there's a lot to choose from, me personally, because you got. The first one that's coming to my mind is the Metal Gear Solid, Phantom Pain. I've yet to play it, so I don't know much about the game, but from what I've read and what I've heard, it just seems pretty awesome. It's just a nice, cinematic, obviously a big cinematic story, and just wrapping up all the insanities in it. I do agree with Reina that Fallout 4 was definitely a big hitter this year. It's freaking Fallout. It's just what you can do with the game, all the perks you can start, and when I play my games, I've talked to my buddies from work, buddies from school, and how much time they're putting in Fallout. But one thing I can personally say I played and I've enjoyed a lot would be, well, Super Mario Maker. Sorry, I'm a little Nintendo biased here. So.
No, that's no problem at all. It's a very highly rated game. It's also as well a truly landmark achievement in the video game world as far as being allowing the consumer to go ahead and build their own Super Mario levels. Is just truly something that a lot of fans like you and I have been dreaming about for many a years.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that. Is like, I've never gotten to create my own Mario levels. Most of us probably had dreams when we were kids. I grew up with Super Mario 64, but I remember when I had my Game Boy Advance, I played all the old retro games, from the Super Nintendo era and the Nintendo era. So it was really a fun experience just starting to finally, play other people's levels and play my own. Obviously, I stay away from the Kaizo levels because those are just insane. But another one I've played and actually have had a good time with would be Halo 5. Every time I played a Halo game, a main entry Halo game, I always get a good time with the story, with the lore, the gameplay. The multiplayer is insane on that game. So I'm not saying the other ones aren't of similar genres. I know every year COD comes out with their own iteration and everything, but one thing I always look forward to in a game is story, and one thing I always find a story within FPS is, well, Halo.
Fair enough. And last, but certainly not least, Salvador, want to hear your thoughts. I know you've been itching at it. I could just see you the whole time while both Lerna and Yelton have been. I could see I want to say it. So go right ahead, my friend.
This is a little bit harder for me just because compared to five years ago and back when I was younger, I don't get time to play games like I used to. Mario Party Wars and school and work and all this it just all keeps me busy, and so I don't even really get the chance to buy games, let alone play them, just because of that. But from what I've been able to play this year, and I also have to say that there are a few that I really would try to put Game of the Year, but because I haven't played them, I can't say. I think Halo would definitely be one. Fallout 4 for sure. I love what they did to this. That's compared to 3 and New Vegas. Some of the new concepts they added. Definitely Metal Gear 5. Freaking love the cinematics on that one, and just overall, I'm a huge Metal Gear fan. I've been playing it since the beginning, so. To me, it's definitely between. These are one of the two games that I've been able to play. Undertale or Super Mario Maker, but I've got to at least give it to Super Mario Maker because definitely it's something different. You can create levels and you could register them to have other people play them. and then you could offer your own creativity by creating something ridiculous, something simple, something wacky. So for something like that, I'd definitely say Super Mario Maker. But I mean, I'm in love with Undertale. Like, I gotta admit, when it first came out, when I saw the trailers and just all the videos that were about it, freaking instantly grew on me. It's an 8-bit style game, and I'm a huge retro gamer, so there's that. The music is amazing. The overall storyline is awesome. So yeah, I definitely go with Super Mario Maker, but Undertale would be my second choice.
Fair enough, and I'm glad you mentioned Undertale, because, well, Jeremiah on our site gave it a 10. He absolutely is in love with the game, and it's, if you want to check out his review, it's on our YourGameSource.com reviews page, where you can find all reviews for the course of this year on our Reviews 2015 page right there for you. But yes, Undertale and Super Mario Maker and Fallout 4, all excellent choices indeed. So that's going to be it for this podcast. Oh, one more thing. There's just a little movie coming out this weekend. I know I'm excited about it. I know GameSource has also been excited about it, but I want to hear from you three out there. Your thoughts, your hopes. We've got just a few minutes left, but your thoughts and your hopes. Let's start again with you, Lerna. Your hopes for Star Wars: The Force.
Oh, Lord in heaven.
I just ran the whole series about a week ago, watching some episode. First you have to start with, oh god, I can't even think about it right now. It's just, I saw all the Star Wars movies, and then I watched a little bit of Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars, what's that new one with the blue hair kid? I can't remember. That's the one, Star Wars Rebels, and then the other anime series, Star Wars, with the true
Clone Wars?
Clone Wars, yeah. But it's just like, oh my god, I truth be told, I have not seen the trailer. I know that the movie comes out tomorrow, but I
actually comes out tonight, and I've got tickets for it indeed, yes. I'm excited.
But I avoided watching the trailer because when I see that movie, I don't want to be spoiled in any way. I don't want to even know who exists right now. I just want to go in there, be like blank-minded, and be like, whoa, man. Whoa.
I think that says it all. I think that says it all right there. Yelthin, your final thoughts on Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Oh man, Star Wars has been just coming up at me because my current job, we have a whole aisle dedicated to just Star Wars merchandise all over the place. So I am definitely excited. I've seen the series, I've seen the spin-offs. I actually started replaying Knights of the Old Republic, so.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so trust me, I've definitely dove myself into Star Wars much more than I care to admit. So I'm definitely excited. I have seen the trailer. I've seen the international trailer. I've seen Matt Pat's game theory on how Luke may be the new Sith Lord. I don't know, but all I know is that I am excited for this movie. I'm just going to hate it because I don't have tickets. I'm not going to be able to watch it anytime soon, and I'm going to be dreading Facebook.
Well, you can't buy the wonders of living in a democratic society. There's and also a capitalistic one. There's still theaters that decided, hey, I guess we're going to open up earlier and earlier and earlier. So those 11 o'clock showings became 10 o'clock showings, became 9 o'clock showings, became 8 o'clock and 7 o'clock showings. So now the availability to everyone out there, if you wish to go see Star Wars: The Force Awakens this weekend, with all the different entities that you can get tickets, and there are plenty of tickets available. Rest assured, I checked earlier today, even though I have tickets already, and there are still plenty of seats still available. So if you want to check it out, Yelthin, there you go.
I'm probably going to have to because I'm just going to be like, it's going to be a burning hole in my pocket. I'm like, man, I want to see this movie, but man, it's going to suck if somebody spoils it for me.
Well, it's already, Fandango's most ordered ticket all time, and the movie is just opened up internationally and is opening up here in a few hours as of this recording. But Salvador, again, last but not least, I want to hear your thoughts on Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
First off, I just want to say I do work at a movie theater, so I'm not going to enjoy the next 2 to 3 weeks because, oh my god, people are just gonna bombard us with trash everywhere. Because that's what I do mostly. Definitely looking forward to seeing it soon, though. I can't get it for free because Disney won't let us for 3 weeks. That's what they said. I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy. Compared to Yelthin and Rena, they've probably seen a lot more Star Wars related stuff, especially the spin-offs.
Salty Sal, why? What? Stop being so salty.
I'll screw you. Anyway, definitely looking forward to seeing what this is about. It's 30 years into the future. So, I'm kind of curious what this is going to be all about. Definitely for sure. Considering new characters, they're adding new robots into this and everything. So I'm kind of curious what Disney's going to go going to do with this, considering they're the ones that own it now.
You're a Star Wars Scrooge. That's what you are. I'm sorry.
We're sorry for the interrupting.
I can hear her. Yes.
And I'm sure you'll hear a lot more. Let me rest assured on that one.
Lucky for me, no one's spoiling it at all while I'm working, so I'm freaking glad everyone's keeping their mouth shut.
Fair enough, as is. So, but my hopes are as well. I've got tickets tonight. I'm just so glad to be obviously going, but also next week as well. I'm going to take my children, and as they experience Star Wars on the big screen for the first time, I know I'm looking forward to that as well as a parent. Because I think that's basically what we know. As I mentioned earlier today on GameSource on Facebook, there's so much wrong in the world, there's so much negativity in the world, but the reason why everybody's so excited for Star Wars is because it's just fun. It's because just going, remember the times that you went to the movie theaters and had a good time, and then hopefully Star Wars Force Awakens showing for you will be that very same thing.
Plus, it's in a galaxy far, far away. It doesn't have nothing to do with this world, right?
Exactly. And here's hoping that for everyone out there, the movie is what you want it to be, and hope you have just a fantastic time. But again, I just want to thank everyone for Mario Party Wars. I've got, again, thank you to Yelthin, thank you to Lerna, and thank you to the Salvador as well. We appreciate every one of you for coming on to the podcast today. That's M Party Wars on YouTube and Mario Party Wars on Facebook. If you get a chance, it is a must. You have to check them out. If you are interested at all in the Mario Party Wars scene, if you are interested in Mario Party, learning more about the tournament itself, is truly, truly a great experience. It's a lot of fun from what I've seen as well, and I highly encourage you to check them out. It's Mario Party Wars on Facebook. They go there and they will let you know they're great people, and they really will answer all of your questions. So for me, Gerald, better known as Yes Elvis Lives, for Lerna, Yelthin, Salvador from Mario Party Wars, this has been GameSource Podcast 137. For us, it's yourgamesource.com, GameSource on Facebook, at GameSource on Twitter, GameSource on YouTube, and Game_Source on Twitch. We appreciate you watching, you listening, you following, and you liking us. We truly appreciate the time that you take in checking us out and checking Mario Party Wars out. We truly appreciate taking the time to be a part of as well the podcast today. I want to thank you for joining us. We wish everyone out there just a wonderful time watching Star Wars: The Force Awakens this weekend. Wish you the happiest and safest of holidays. It's another beautiful Christmas in paradise, and we hope you have yourselves a happy holiday season.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Do you love games, breathe games, and bleed games? Then this is the crew for you. If you are interested in editorial, podcasting, live events, and exclusive content, make sure to hit us up at info@yourgamesource.com and become part of a team that is dedicated to delivering all the greatest and latest in gaming news and content, all here at yourgamesource.com.